Marvel's cinematic universe has been a dominant force in the world of entertainment for over a decade, captivating audiences with its blend of action, humor, and interconnected storytelling. However, recent entries in the franchise have left some fans feeling uncertain about the future direction of the MCU. Keep watching as we tell you why the MCU might be broken. One of the key issues facing the modern MCU is the unpredictability of the viewing experience. While previous Marvel films were generally well received and adhered to a certain level of quality, recent releases have been met with mixed reactions. Some fans find themselves disappointed by the lack of coherence and consistency in the storytelling, unsure of what to expect when they sit down to watch a new Marvel movie. At the heart of this uncertainty lies the state of world-building within the MCU. World-building refers to the construction of a fictional universe, including its history, geography, and culture. In the early phases of the MCU, world-building was a strength, with each film contributing to a larger narrative tapestry. However, as the franchise has expanded, cracks have begun to appear in the foundation of this shared universe. Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel Studios and the architect of the MCU, is responsible for overseeing the development of these interconnected films. While Feige has been widely praised for his stewardship of the franchise, some critics argue that he has become less involved in the day-to-day operations of Marvel Studios in recent years. Without Feige's guiding hand, the MCU risks losing the sense of unity and purpose that has been integral to its success. Another issue facing the MCU is the quality of its storytelling. In the past, Marvel films were known for their compelling plots, well-developed characters, and witty dialogue. However, recent entries in the franchise have been criticized for their lackluster scripts and formulaic storytelling. Characters often feel one-dimensional, and plot twists can feel forced or contrived. One area where the MCU has struggled in recent years is its handling of the multiverse concept. Introduced in films like Doctor Strange and Spider-Man: No Way Home, the multiverse is a complex concept that allows for endless variations of reality to coexist.
The multiverse is a concept about which we know frighteningly little.
Multiverse is real.
While this idea has the potential to open up exciting new storytelling possibilities, it has also created confusion and inconsistency within the MCU. For example, most Marvel movies feature a charismatic hero who faces off against a powerful villain in a climactic battle to save the world. While this formula has been successful in the past, some viewers have expressed a desire for more innovation and originality in Marvel's storytelling. They want to see the studio take more risks and push the boundaries of what superhero movies can be. Moreover, the MCU's focus on interconnected storytelling, while initially groundbreaking, has also become a point of contention for some fans. While the interconnectedness of the MCU allows for epic crossover events like The Avengers, it can also lead to narrative complications and inconsistencies. For instance, as the MCU has expanded to include more movies and TV shows, keeping track of the overarching storyline has become increasingly challenging. Newcomers to the franchise may find it difficult to understand the significance of certain events or characters without having watched all the previous films and shows. Additionally, longtime fans may become frustrated with inconsistencies or retcons introduced to accommodate new storylines or character arcs. Furthermore, while the MCU has made significant strides in terms of diversity and representation in recent years, it still has room for improvement. Historically, superhero movies have been dominated by white male characters, and while Marvel has introduced more diverse heroes like Black Panther and Captain Marvel, there is still a lack of representation for certain marginalized groups. For example, LGBTQ+ characters are notably absent from the MCU, with few exceptions. Similarly, characters of different ethnicities and cultural backgrounds are often relegated to supporting roles, rather than being given the spotlight. Critics argue that Marvel could do more to promote diversity and inclusion both in front of and behind the camera. Marvel seems to be in a bit of a pickle with its multiverse saga. Since Avengers Endgame, they've been dealing with one problem after another, constantly rearranging release dates and scrambling to adjust their movies and shows on the fly. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like things will calm down anytime soon. The Marvels, which should have been a big deal following Captain Marvel and the Disney Plus shows, is struggling at the box office. On top of that, the situation with Jonathan Majors isn't resolving itself, and now the director of the next Avengers movie might be out. With everything up in the air, it seems like the MCU will continue with a bunch of unrelated stories that don't connect to each other. Before COVID-19 hit, the MCU was all about interconnected storytelling. Even if movies didn't have major character crossovers, drop little references to events happening elsewhere, making fans feel like everything was part of one big universe. But since the pandemic, things have changed. There are still threads connecting some movies and shows, like Julia Louis-Dreyfus popping up in different places. But overall, there's been a lack of cohesion. This lack of connection is a problem because it wasn't the plan. When COVID-19 forced Marvel to reshuffle their schedule, it messed up the timeline. Spider-Man: No Way Home stayed put, but Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness got pushed back. This likely led to a lot of changes behind the scenes, making everything feel disjointed. Suddenly, we had stories like Shang-Chi, Eternals, and Moon Knight that didn't seem to fit anywhere. Moon Knight especially didn't even acknowledge the rest of the MCU. It felt like Marvel was trying to make everything stand alone to avoid confusing fans. But stripping away all those connections created new problems. Movies like Black Widow and Shang-Chi left audiences scratching their heads because important details were missing. WandaVision had its big reveal moment with Agatha all along, only to backtrack later. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier felt all over the place, with villains who didn't seem to know what they were doing. It left fans feeling like something was missing. Fast forward to today, and Marvel still seems to be struggling. Secret Invasion, Loki Season 2, and the Marvels all feel like they've lost their way. The Marvels were supposed to lead into Secret Invasion, but the order doesn't make sense, and the Marvels rushes through its plot, leaving viewers wondering what just happened. Loki Season 2 introduced subplots that went nowhere, and the events didn't seem to matter in the larger MCU. What's worse is that Marvel keeps wasting time and money redoing their work whenever something changes. They film scenes only to cut them later, leaving audiences with disjointed stories that don't add up. This lack of coherence is draining the emotional attachment fans once had for the franchise. And with the Marvel's disappointing opening weekend, it's clear that something needs to change. It won't be easy for Marvel to fix this mess, especially if they're considering pivoting away from Jonathan Majors' character. But they can't keep stripping everything down to the basics. They need to put in the effort to make the MCU feel like a cohesive universe again. And while it may be expensive, Disney has the resources to make it happen. Moreover, the MCU's approach to storytelling has sometimes been criticized for its lack of depth and complexity. While Marvel movies are undeniably entertaining, they often prioritize spectacle and humor over deeper themes and character development. Some viewers crave more emotionally resonant storytelling that explores complex moral dilemmas, psychological depth, and philosophical questions. Despite these challenges, the MCU remains one of the most successful and influential franchises in cinematic history. Its ability to create compelling characters, thrilling action sequences, and epic storylines has captured the hearts and imaginations of audiences around the world. As Marvel continues to evolve and expand its cinematic universe, it will be essential for the studio to address these criticisms and challenges while staying true to its core strengths and values. The lack of planning and foresight in the development of recent MCU films has only exacerbated these issues. Instead of following a carefully crafted roadmap, it often feels like Marvel is making things up as it goes along, introducing new characters and plot lines without considering their long-term implications. This lack of cohesive planning has resulted in a sense of aimlessness and uncertainty about the future direction of the franchise. Despite these challenges, there is still hope that the MCU can recapture its former glory. By refocusing on strong storytelling, cohesive world-building, and careful planning, Marvel has the potential to reignite the excitement and enthusiasm of its fanbase. However, it will require a renewed commitment to quality and creativity on the part of the filmmakers, as well as a willingness to learn from past mistakes. The modern MCU faces numerous challenges that threaten to undermine its status as a cultural juggernaut. However, with the right approach and a dedication to excellence, there is no reason why Marvel can't reclaim its place at the top of the superhero genre. What do you think of the future of the MCU? Comment below and do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more.